Hello and welcome everybody to X-Bomb Sports, where Oklahoma loses and Notre Dame's going streaking.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you. That was stupid.
You're laughing, so it was funny.
Yes. Welcome, everybody, here to the X-Bomb Sports Live Show. My name is Andrew Valentin, and as you all can guess, that is Tom McKinney. Yes, he's back on the mic as he's back there. Tom, how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, because Oklahoma lost to Kansas State. Woohoo!
Yep, that they did, yes. So that's a big upset for everybody out there.
Hey, I'm on Twitter real quick. Someone had a
No
sign
more Twitter for you.
Someone had a sign at College Game Day today. It said, "Gorillas murdered, Ohio 1, Wisconsin 0."
Nice. I like it. Yes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome again here to the X-Bomb Sports Live Show. We're coming to you live once again from the Illinois Media School here in Lombard, Illinois campus. I hope you all are having a fantastic Saturday. It's kind of cold. Apparently, it's raining outside. I haven't seen the rain just yet, so I'm not looking forward to that. But, ladies and gentlemen, we got a fun show for you guys today. We're talking about everything and all things sports, so I hope you guys are ready for this one because we're about to get into this one. You ready to do this, Tom?
Woo!
All right, well, let's kick it off, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to start things off with good old NHL, ladies and gents. That's right. Hockey season's here, as I'm sure Tom has already alluded to many times here. Thank you, Tom. So glad we finally got the speakers back in here, or at least fixed one of them back in here, so that Tom can once again speak to all of us and make all the fun noises.
Now, only if I had sound effects back here.
Yes, yeah, really.
For like when we talk other sports.
Yeah, I know what you're trying to say.
I would have the.
I know exactly what that would be for. But yeah, we're gonna kick things off obviously with the NHL. Talk on the Blackhawks here. Certainly, the season has been kind of pouring on. We've kind of seen what this team has done thus far. Our guy Tom here, he and his wonderful fiance Sarah, they were able to get to a Hawks game. Tom, how was it, man?
That jumbotron is big.
Yeah, I saw the picture you sent, man. That thing is huge. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Like, not only that, like, it just looks cool. And yeah, there's no words to describe it. When they score a goal, it says goal. It's the video parts of the board itself. There's there's 8 pieces. They have an actual board for the corners. Yeah. So they put ads there, so they're not taking up some of the screen.
Okay, that's nice.
And those switch and stuff like that. And their ads are more of like, oh, go buy this hat in the store. Or, oh, go buy this in the store, like a jersey or something, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. But then the actual boards themselves, like the long, like on the sides and stuff where there's more seats, that board's bigger. Like, you know how at AT&T Stadium, you've seen pictures of that where on the 50-yard line, on the out-of-bounds sides, that's long, but on the end zone sides, it's shorter. It rounds itself a little bit on the horseshoe part.
Okay,
and
that's good.
So it's really nice. They have the players that are on the ice that they've started to incorporate, and then around on the top, they put their penalties up on top. So whoever's like, they'll put the number, the time left on the power play or the penalty, and then the penalty itself. So if it's tripping or whatnot, and then on the bottom and top are one piece. It circles around, so it's like a ticker time thing. Yeah. Like you would see at the bottom of Sports or ESPN. And what happens is every time they score a goal, that lights up gold, and the goal is flashing, and it circles around, and they shoot off smoke. Now, I don't know how they do it for the National Boring League or Boring Association team, but I think it looks really nice.
Yeah, no, the pictures I've seen, and not only that, but the video I've seen of it too, it looks fantastic. I can't wait to get a chance to see it in person. I just got to scrounge up a few bucks here and there, but. Yeah, so the Blackhawks, outside of obviously the nice new-looking jumbotron for them as well. I mean, look, right now we've seen them in the season. Unfortunately, they just lost their next game here against the Carolina Hurricanes 4-0. So tack that on to another loss again for this team. So now they're sitting at, 2-5-2, right? Yeah. That would be the record. So 2-5-2. I think that puts them still 6th in the Central Division right now. So for the Blackhawks, obviously, it's not been a very good start. It's early in the season, yes, nonetheless. I mean, we have to consider that nonetheless. But still, there's some things I think we should kind of look through that kind of been being pointed out by a lot in the media and certainly by a few individuals out there that I know myself that are fans to hockey. Certainly Tom's one of them, but there's others out there as well. So
hey, by the way, it's been 14 years. ESPN keeps forgetting that the White Sox won a World Series.
Yeah, I know. I can't look. I can't do anything with ESPN anymore. Right? I think those guys are just a mess at this point. Hire us, for God's sakes. We'll bump your ratings up. I promise you.
Down.
But yeah, so let's just go through some of the things with the Blackhawks that I've been kind of noticing myself. So we'll start things off with, obviously it's another rough start for this team again. And 2-4-2. Now it's 2-5-2.
Terrible start.
Yeah, it's a very bad start.
No,
right
it's
now.
not.
No, but
they're trying to figure things out. It's the first full year for Jeremy Colleton. There's some issues. I don't like Colleton's comments that he had a few days ago after the Flyers game that it's not his line matchups, it's their work ethic. That's not what a coach should be saying.
No, but I mean,
like
at
that's
the same
a player's thing to say.
That's maybe more of a locker room thing to say. Certainly, that's something to address with the players in a personal matter. Maybe not out in the media. Which is, but Colleton's not versed in the media, so he's still trying to learn him. Obviously, you would think that's a very kind of like, no duh kind of thing to say, but you have to understand that when you're as a coach, you have to, there are coaches for coaches, believe that or not, that actually help you with the media. They bring in media personnel to help you out. Publicists will help you to try and figure out, okay, this is what you want to say, this is what you don't want to say. So maybe he's still trying to structure that out. But for the Blackhawks, I mean, 2-5-2 now, 6 points for what they are right now. I mean, it's not a bad start, but they are still trying to figure things out. But it's also kind of it's a setback a little bit because obviously this has been a team that for years – you've never had to worry about this, right? I mean, look, every franchise at some point, whatever sport it is, they go through this, right?
Hell, the Cubs went through it for 108 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's very true, right? I mean, look at the Bulls. After the 90s, what happened? We're still in this period of regressing, right? I mean, we had a moment where it was like, they look like they're on the way up, where we're like, maybe we don't have to worry about them.
Well,
but then came the point where they dipped down. What's up?
I'll save it for basketball.
Oh, yeah.
I had something that just popped up.
Okay. But the Blackhawks are the same way, right? We win 3 Stanley Cups in a fixed number of years, right? It's a strong look for the team, but then
3
obviously
cups in 6 years. Don't say 6 out of some years.
Yeah, so 3 cups in 6 years. It's a strong. It's a
dynasty.
Stand.
It's literally a dynasty.
It's not a dynasty.
But for people out there who don't say it's a dynasty, you don't understand how hard it is to repeat in the NHL. It's not like the NBA, MLB. Football and stuff like that,
it's not a natural dynasty, okay?
All right,
it's
fine.
not a natural
you can
dynasty.
Say that.
I'll give you that.
But for everybody out there who says it's not even not a natural dynasty, that you can't classify it as a dynasty, they are literally a dynasty because of how hard that salary cap is and how hard it was for when they did it. Now everybody goes, "Oh, well, the Penguins won back-to-back." Yeah. You know how long it took for a team to win back-to-back Stanley Cups?
Right.
Ask Detroit in the 90s.
They're what I would classify as a decade dynasty, right? They were one of the best teams for the decade.
So in that sense, then that means the Spurs are a decade dynasty.
Yes, the Spurs I would classify are a decade dynasty. They ruled in the 2000s just like the Blackhawks have ruled in the 2010s. That's just trying to, that's trying to make everybody happy. You can't always make everybody happy, but people are going to have to suck it up and deal with what you're going to have to deal with, okay? But for the Blackhawks, this is obviously just like, look, you've kind of dropped in your period. Like this is the moment now where all the talent you had now has kind of gone away. You're in a little bit of a regression period. You're trying to rebuild, reload, and try and see if the gun can still fire. You know you still have those special guys there that can make it happen, but you're trying to see if maybe the newer, younger players to the team can actually make this thing fully function. It's going to be difficult because you're trying to see if chemistry is there with certain individuals over others. They're going to be trying to change and flip things around here and there throughout these next couple weeks. But hopefully by, I would say by the 25th game or like the 30th game, you should maybe have a good idea of where this team's going to be at lineup-wise, chemistry-wise.
You can't say that because of what this team started their season with. You got to remember this team flew 8,600 miles to go play in Germany and Prague, lose the first game of the season to the Flyers in Prague, then fly 8,600 miles back And, like, everybody goes, well, they had, like, a week off. Yeah, they had a week off, but I don't think you understand that still a lot of traveling. Like, I know this, and then everybody goes, oh, well, they travel all the time.
Right.
But it's not that you travel all the time. It's the fact that they're traveling from Chicago to San Francisco or Chicago to San Jose or Chicago to Florida. Like, there is a big difference than going overseas.
No, absolutely. No, and you're not wrong about that. But to me, it's just – I feel like for a franchise as good as the Blackhawks have been, obviously there's questions on what's going on with the front office, but for as good as they've been in the past, you would think that by some point here, they would probably have some sort of a structure to maybe build around by that point. That's what I'm saying. By the 30th game, I feel like at that point they should have a fix on, okay, who plays best with who. You know, now it's not always going to be that way. Guys are going to get hurt. Things are going to happen, this and that. But at that point, I feel like that should be the moment they should all be really starting to click and connect with each other. But apart from that, obviously, there's other points to that. And one of the big ones that I've been hearing a lot is obviously got some older guys on the team, right? You got some older guys on the team. There's 6 guys right now on the team that are 30 years old or older, with 5 of them being kind of the star players. Zach Smith is the only guy on the Hawks team that is not considered to be a star, But obviously you have Patrick Kane, who's 31. You have Jonathan Toews, who I believe is also 31 as well. And then you have Seabrook, who is 34. You have Duncan Keith, who's 35, and then Corey Crawford, who is 36. So those are and these are the guys that have kind of been considered the cornerstones of our days when we were, not us, but the days of when the Blackhawks were winning Stanley Cups, right? They have kind of been considered the main pieces to make it all work. And it's not to say that they're completely showing their age, but you can see the effects now of...
I don't know, man. Patrick Kane doesn't seem to be aging.
No, Patrick Kane's the only one that seems right now to be kind of in that fine wine period where with time he seems to just keep getting, I won't say better, but he continues to be at the same sufficient level that he's supposed to be. He's a top player. The Hall of Fame has already kind of punched his ticket at this point. I mean, there's no question about it from my end, or I think anybody else's. But it's just one of those things where for him, it feels like it's just always the same thing. Everybody else, unfortunately, that I've kind of listed here, Toews and Crawford and Seabrook and Keith, they're all starting to kind of show that what's up.
Crawford's been injured the last few years, so like don't throw him all into it.
That's true, but that's like a part that kind of connects with it though. With age comes more injuries when you're playing.
Yeah,
this
but
game.
Remember his injuries weren't body-wise; it was mental concussion.
Yes, but I mean, even still, you have to all of it's connected though. That's the thing. I'm not saying when you get older, you're going to get more concussions. That's not the case. It happens if it happens, but we have to remember that, like with Jonathan Toews, I mean, he's having one of his worst face-off years. I mean, that's just the truth. He's at 48.2% on winning on his face-offs. So, he's not at his he's still winning the most face-offs on the team, but he's clearly not at his best right
early,
now. Yeah, I know it's early. I know. But you have obviously Seabrook. I mean, he's had some good moments. He's one of those top guys who's kind of leading in hits, or he's not leading in hits, but he's one of those guys who's really been throwing his body around. I think he's third in hits. Yeah, third in hits with 25 hits so far. So he's really, even at 34, he's still trying to manage to put guys into the glass. So he's doing a great job on that. Duncan Keith leads the team in takeaways. I mean, even at 35, he's still playing pretty sufficient. But you can see the speed's not where it used to be. Right, it's kind of wear and tear a little bit on these guys. Which for Duncan Keith, he leads the team for time on ice right now, which I think
he always does.
Which I think he's at like 25 minutes or something like that, or even higher, something. I'm not 100% sure on that.
I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, but both of those guys. I mean, look, all these guys are important. Yes, it's just they're all starting to show that age is a factor. It's something you have to consider, right? I mean, look, hockey's one of those sports where guys certainly can be playing well into the 40s. Yager's one of them that doesn't seem to ever want to quit.
He's still playing.
He's still playing. He's still playing and still scoring goals.
All right, so points with the team it's Patrick Kane with 8, Saad with 5, and then there's a 4-player tie for third with 4. Goals, Patrick Kane and Brandon Saad both have 3, and then there's a 5-player tie at third for 2.
Yeah.
Assists, Kane leads with 5. Eric Gustafsson has 4, and then there's a 2-player tied for third at 3. Plus minus, there's a 3-way tie for 1. It's Eric Gustafsson, Dylan Strome, and Ryan Carpenter for 3. Power play goals, DeBrincat has 2, and Brent Seabrook has 1. Short-handed goals, Saad has 1. Time of ice per game, Duncan Keith has 24 minutes and 38 seconds, and he's in first. Patrick Kane is 21 minutes and 34 seconds.
Yeah.
Eric Gustafsson has 20. He's 20-23. Face-off percentage, Ryan Carpenter is 57.33%. Now, this is updated since today.
Yeah.
Jonathan Toews is second with 50.33, and David Kampf is 44.82. So you're wrong on Jonathan Toews. He's literally at 50%.
Oh, well, he is now. I mean, I just put that. I just found that stat, like an hour ago. So, cut me a break.
No.
But look, I mean, even with these guys being older, they still have a pretty decent unit. They've got some guys who are in the prime of their careers. They've got some young guys. I'll say this, Kirby Dach. I mean, I know it's early in his career. I mean, that was a very good goal he had. I mean, I wish he would be better on the faceoffs.
Good placement, knew where he wanted to be.
Exactly.
And I really like this Dach Strome Kane line. If you would actually just keep lines together. If that's the problem with Jeremy Colleton, and this is why I had problems with his comments about it's not his lines. It is his lines. He keeps mixing them up when he shouldn't. If you keep rolling with lines, now I understand in game situation it's different. You want to change them up in that third period if you're trailing, and if you need some sparks, you're going to put Kane on almost any line you can.
Right.
Because he's going to spark any line. That's fine. No problem with that. Whatever. But you have to start keeping your lines the same for 4 or 5 games and see what you truly have. You're going to lose some games. And after those 5 games, change your lines. See what your lines are. See who works well with each other. And if you had to put Kane and Toews together, then do it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, and that's what I'm talking about is like by game 25 or game 30, the lines shouldn't be shifting so much. I mean, he shouldn't be changing it up this much. You should be understanding where the chemistry's at with this team. I mean, and it looks like these guys can be pretty good if they can get in sync. There's some good talent on this team. We picked up some really nice guys, right? I mean, Dehan right now looks like a really good defender for us. I mean, he looks like a great pickup for sure. I mean, Ali Mata, again, he's been working really well with Seabrook, and he's done a little bit of work with Keith here and there too. And I know Tom really wasn't, he didn't really like it at first, but, it seems like it's really working. And even he said, like, yeah, he seems like he's actually helping out a lot. So there's a lot of upside here still for this Blackhawks team. What Tom said, was he wrong with it? No, there is a chance this team can certainly make the playoffs. I mean, and there's a few other things here too. Like, obviously, defense is certainly a big concern. I mean, even with Dehan and all those guys, like, they're fighting. They're trying, right? Those guys are putting in the work. But they just need to do it just feels like they never have the chance to finish. Like they're in the fight, but they never finish. Now they have, shots against, they have the least amount shots against, or not least amount, but they're tied for 5th with least amount shots against, with 25 shots against right now. So it's pretty strong for them.
Also, one other thing out there. Yeah. People got to remember, they have played the least amount of games.
That's true. Yes, they have played the least amount of games. So that is also a fair point too. So they're still getting into their season right now. So who knows? Farther into it, these numbers could certainly improve. But for where they're standing right now, I mean, the penalty kill percentage, that's still down, unfortunately. For shots and goals per game, I mean they're in the middle of the pack for that. I mean, the takeaways, they've got some good takeaways, 73 takeaways, but it's the giveaways that's killing them right now too. I mean, this is still a team that just feels like everything's a fight, and then comes the third period, and it kind of feels like things slow down a little bit. And that's where, again, age can be a factor too, where you don't have the guys that are maybe able to run with their motors the same way they used to. It happens. But I mean, for defense, I mean, they're certainly putting in the fight, but they need to be able to show more of a finishing momentum, if you will. Okay, they have to have that momentum to be able to finish off the game from the first period to the third period. And then the other part of this too, I mean, the Blackhawks for everything that is good about them. I mean, I've said it before. I know Tom is going to probably scream at me.
I'm going to kill you. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth.
It is. Well, I'm saying it's time to find the heir apparent to the guy who's sitting between the pipes. Look, Corey Crawford's. Is he a Blackhawks Hall of Famer? Certainly. Is he a Hall of Famer in the hockey world?
Yeah,
that's up for debate.
2 Stanley Cups.
2 Stanley Cups, yes. That is a good point, and that could be the thing that locks him in. I've heard other arguments outside of it that could be otherwise, but you know what? That's for another day of a debate. But for what he is right now, I mean, he's 1-3. You know, he's pretty good on the saves. He's not done terrible, but he's under 90% right now. I know, again, early in the season, but I'm just saying, 3.59 goals again. I can't do that. Goals against average, 3.59. That's not good. It's not good. And 5 of them have been shorthanded. 5 of them have been shorthanded goals, and that's terrible. Again, I know early in the season, it's only 4 games he's played, right?
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah. So it's difficult. I know, but he's 36 years old. And as for a goaltender, yes, they can go well into their 40s. We've seen a lot of guys do that before and still play well. But those guys also had somebody behind them that was getting ready to take the mantle. Now, Leaner could be it.
Liner.
Robin Leonard. Sorry.
It's Robin Leonard. Making me mess up.
I'm sorry. Leonard. Leonard could be it. He's 28. But I feel like you need to kind of get prepared to have
you
that.
You realize it's the last year of Crawford's contract, right?
Yes, and I am aware of that.
This is basically a tryout for the next few years.
Yes. So Leonard could be it. But I feel like next year, I'm not saying it's got to be a first-round pick. Because you can always, again, goalies are one of those guys, you can find them in the late rounds, and they can be really good. We've done it in the past before. But you need to start considering looking for the next guy up. If it's
well,
not
they have one.
Which is just
Colin Delia.
You like Delia?
I like Delia.
Okay.
He just needs some more seasoning in the minors, and that's what goaltenders are. You season them in the minors.
Do you know how old he is by any chance, Tom? Can you give me that info?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. Because, I mean, I've seen him play. I've seen the minor league highlights and all that stuff. He has a quick glove. He's got good reaction. And I think he's fairly young, and you could see that the maneuverability that he
25.
has. 25?
Yeah,
so he's right there in that prime.
He was born in 94. Jesus
okay.
Christ.
Yeah, don't
and he's from California, Rancho Cucamonga.
Okay, yeah, you know what? I like it.
He's the number 1 goaltender in Rockford right now.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, look, I mean, but I said like I said, I saw the minor league, the videos and stuff. He's got a quick glove, good reaction time. I like his abilities. He could be it. Maybe a combination of him and Leonard could be really good, but it is time to start considering, because even Crawford, I'm sure, as a Warriors mentality for a hockey player has to be, I'm sure he's even thinking about, I'm getting up there, concussions, the knee, the back, certainly the vertigo. You have to consider that eventually you either have to move on or eventually he's going to move on. And you have to be prepared for that movement. But, I mean, look, overall, this is, again, it's early in the season for the Blackhawks. There's still much more of the season to play. We'll obviously dive farther into this. I really do think this team could somehow pull, I think 37, 38 wins, it's not asking a lot. I think they can do it. I think they can certainly pull that off. But it's going to be a lot of test and trial. There's a lot of good teams in the West that they're going to have to compete with, right? The NHL, it's right now a huge battle. Yes, we can kind of see some teams are better than others right now at the start. We can maybe even kind of guess how the Stanley Cup playoffs are even going to look at this point. Who knows? But it's always a crapshoot, because even when you get to the playoffs, what happens? Even the number 1 teams can lose in the first round, which somehow Tom has called in the past. I don't know how he doesn't. But no, I honestly, don't sweat it. Concern, sure, have some concern, but don't jump off the ship just yet. Hang with this team. You have been. You've had over 500 straight sellouts at the game. Obviously, this team still has a giant fan bases that love them to death. So I'm hoping the best for the Hawks. Who knows? Maybe they make a big-time trade, and maybe this team gets even better. You never know. You never know. All right, so let's shift away from that, and let's go into the sport that's on the diamond right now. Good old baseball.
I have an announcement.
Yep.
2019 Relievers of the Year have been announced.
Have they really?
Yeah, you want to take a guess at who they are?
Oh my God! I can't even imagine who that would be. Just give me the answers.
No, come on, give me one ML, one AL, one NL.
One AL, one NL. Oh my God. That's the problem. I don't know all the relievers. Are we talking relievers or are we talking closers? What are we talking about?
Well, it's the 2019 Relievers of the Year award, but I think both of these guys are closers.
Okay. That's closers. Who could they be? Why must you make noises? All right. Is one of them a Hader?
Yeah, Josh Hader.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. He's the NL. Who's the AL? AL East.
In the AL East?
Yeah.
It's not Chapman, is it?
It is.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
He had a good regular season.
He did have a good regular season.
Remember, he's still a World Series champ.
Yes, he is. He almost lost it, but he is a World Series champ nonetheless.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah. So, but in baseball, so good luck to them. Obviously, if those guys are going to be winning the award, congratulations to them. But obviously,
the award.
What's up?
They did win the award.
They did win the award. Okay, congratulations to you guys. But obviously, those guys aren't in the World Series because we're talking about the World Series here, ladies and gents, because we got Game 4 tonight at 7 o'clock. Houston right now is down 2-1 against the Washington Nationals. The Nationals have been they look like they're
going to run away with this. Are you giving up on the Astros?
No, because this is exactly what I predicted. I said the Nationals take the first 2 games, and then Houston wins it out from here. So far, I'm 100% right now. Now, if they lose tonight, that puts a little bit of a monkey wrench in my whole prediction.
Will you switch sides and go to the Nationals?
No, I'm sticking with the Astros.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
You know they're gonna lose.
Well, I'm sorry, but I have a love for the Astros. It's just a thing.
Because every time they win, people forget that the White Sox won a World Series, though, right?
Yes, exactly.
All right, fair enough.
It's just a reminder that we beat this franchise to win a World Series. That's all. Look, let me have my moment, man. No,
Never.
look. Obviously, the first 3 games have already been played. Washington up 2-1. They played very well in those first 2 games. Game 1 was a fight, and that kind of set the tone for what a lot of people thought was going to be this game. It's going to be a lot of close stuff, going to be a lot of back and forth between the two, right? And then all of a sudden you have Game 2, and the Nationals put on an exhibition unlike anything I've ever seen before. I mean, my God, they poured on 12 runs on Justin Verlander, which
They didn't pour 12 runs on Verlander.
Well, no, they poured 12 runs on the Houston Astros, but overall, I mean, they came up with the win while Justin Verlander took the loss. But yeah, 17 runs in your first 2 combined games. I mean, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, it's over. It's over. Nationals World Series for the win, baby."
It is over.
It is not over.
Yeah, because I called Nationals in 5. Remember that?
You did. Yes, you did. But like I said, right now the Nationals have won the first 2 games, but then good old Houston found a way to come back and storm in the 3rd game, and overall the team did a really good job. Zach Greinke went out there, he struck out 6. In total, they had 13 total strikeouts.
But again, he had another start where he couldn't get out of the 5th inning.
Yes, that's true. He did struggle, and it's not to say that this Houston team is not without its struggles. Right? They are being exposed in that if you can start getting the numbers on their pitchers, if you can start getting their number on their breaking balls, you can send them out of the park, you can get them in a funk, and next thing you know, you have them in your hands, and you can pretty much handle them. That's what happened in game 12, right? Verlander was throwing some really nice stuff, but at some point, you saw it. The hitters were starting to get on his breaking ball. They were starting to hit the ball into the field. They were starting to get some home runs going, and next thing you know, it's not looking good. And then they've got the Astros number. And no matter who they're throwing out there, then it's just getting tougher and tougher and tougher to try and recover. So, but for Game 3, I mean, Houston, they just played really good baseball. It was simple, simplistic baseball played. There wasn't big home runs. There wasn't anything shocking like that. And unfortunately, they upset, Juan Soto on his 21st birthday, so not a very good 21st birthday.
Who cares?
Party
The
for him,
kid's
so
playing in a World Series.
True, very true. I mean, what better birthday party do you want? Jeez. But no, for Game 3, I mean, like I said, I thought this was gonna happen, right? I thought this was gonna happen. Nationals take the first 2 games because I thought Garrett Cole and Justin Verlander, yes, as talented as they are, I just didn't think that it was gonna be happening in the first 2 games. I thought, okay, Nationals get the first 2. They kind of find a way to get the lead on these guys, and then Houston finds a way to bring it back in the next 4 games. Now, I'm on 100% right now, but so is Tom, right? Tom could very much be right, and next thing I know, Nationals win the next 2 games. They win the World Series.
Boom!
Congratulations to the Nationals.
And then you're going to be like, go buy a lottery ticket.
Yeah, right. You have it already, so why are we not millionaires? Come on, man. But Houston could easily still win 3 straight games out, and then next thing you know, they take it in 6, and then I'm right. But I'm not, and then I'll go buy a lottery ticket. I don't know. But then just Tom gets mad at me. But I mean, look, this World Series, for those who are saying that this one is not exciting, I mean, look, I understand baseball has its moments, and it's kind of you're in or you're out. But this is still a great storyline. You're talking about one of the great teams, I would say, of all time. I think Houston's one of those great teams of all time. I think it's got one of those talented teams, right? Against a Nationals team that has really kind of been like a cardiac team where it's been like, we're not going to stop. We're just going to keep going, and we're not going to quit until we get this thing going. It's a great storyline. It's David versus Goliath. It's the team that is filled with superstars with a team that lost its superstar and is now in the World Series. It's a great storyline. I love this, right? Because either Houston's going to get its 2nd World Series in 3 years, or Washington's going to get its first World Championship in 86 years.
No.
Yes.
The city of Washington just had the Washington, D.C. just had a championship.
Or, excuse me, World Series. Yes, and then Washington will get its next championship after winning the Stanley Cup. So the storyline is there. It's built for everybody. It's a great matchup. If this goes to Game 7 is going to be electrifying. Because who knows who's going to be there then, right? You don't know who's going to pitch.
Yeah, you do. I guarantee Cole pitches tomorrow versus Scherzer.
Yeah.
You have Strasburg pitching Game 5 or Game 6 in Houston, and Game 7 will probably be start out at Sanchez, and I guarantee Scherzer and Strasburg go into that game.
It's possible. They could go 4 deep, and they could throw in Corbin. Who knows?
Yeah, Corbin will probably pitch a lot of that game, but I imagine Corbin will pitch a lot of Game 6.
Well, he's pitching tonight.
But that's what I'm saying is they're going to start Strasburg Game 5 or 6 if it gets that far.
Right.
And Game 6, Strasburg may go like 2-3 innings. Corbin might go 3 innings, and then you're going to go to the bullpen the rest, depending on how that game looks.
Right.
Like if you're set up to win that game, then yeah, you're not going to mess with it too much. But if Strasburg goes out there and that game is tight, you're going to go and be like, all right, well, I don't know. Let's get Corbin in there now, and he'll pitch 3 innings, and this way Strasburg can pitch tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, I think that only happens if they have if it's tight, but it's like a 2-run lead. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
Because the thing is, you don't want to burn those guys out. Because if this goes to Game 7, you need to make sure you have everybody, at least in some degree, being able to say, okay, I can take 3, I can take 3, and I can take 3, or however you want to play it. You know?
No, that's what I'm saying though.
Yeah. No, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, we have no idea how this thing's going to play out. I mean, we're just taking the guess at it. And that's also what's keeping this interesting too, is each team has the superstars, young and old, hitting and pitching. So it's making for a compelling matchup. It's what's helping to sell the story. So I'm really excited for this. Game 4, again, it's tonight. Again, at 7 o'clock. I'm excited to see what happens here. I'm excited to see if Houston can actually get this Game 4, or if Washington, who knows, maybe Washington does take the 3-1 lead over them. But we have to remember, there's been a lot of teams that have blown 3-1 leads.
Cleveland.
There's been a lot of teams that have done it.
Cleveland.
Yeah. Just always want to take our shot at them.
Yeah, I do.
But yeah, this is gonna be fun. I can't wait to see it. And then obviously once this World Series is over, off season starts, and then you're talking about a lot of big moves possibly being made.
By the way, we called. They haven't announced the price yet, but we did call the contract length with. Actually, I hit it right on the head.
Was it
I
3
said
years?
3 years with a 4th-year player or coach option.
Okay.
And that's what it is.
Okay, so 3 years in that range. So they are looking at around, about $3 million probably. I would say is $3.5 million.
I'm going
is probably
5.
Hey, they might have given him the full 5. I mean, look, 3-time manager of the year, World Series champion manager, right? I mean, and
No,
it was.
I'm talking about Ross.
Oh, for David Ross?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, my bad.
David Ross, they gave no. Joe Madden's contract's 3 years, 15
Right, yeah,
million.
I forgot. My bad.
But David Ross's contract is for 3 years with a 4th-year player or manager option.
Okay.
Joe Girardi to the Phillies, though. Jesus.
Yeah, who would have seen that one
Who'da
coming?
thumped?
I mean, that is gonna be interesting. I mean, I'll ask you this real quick before we get out of this. Do you think that helps Philly out?
No, not a chance.
Not a chance, really.
I think it cripples Philly.
Ooh, he thinks it cripples Philly. All right, so before
and then
I gotta
about
follow
the
up on
Padres?
this now. What's up?
You hear about the Padres?
Have they hired their manager?
Yeah.
Who is it?
Texas Rangers.
Really?
Yeah, Joseph something.
I don't know how to feel. I'm a little confused on that. Like I know he's a good manager. Don't get me wrong. He's a very smart man, but I feel like momentum's not with him. Am I wrong?
Yeah, and supposedly the Mets have found their manager, but
They're not announcing it.
they haven't announced it yet.
That'll be interesting. The Mets are. I'll say this: I'm not a fan of the Mets, but I am a fan of how they do things.
They did rule out that it's not Mark DeRosa.
It's not.
No, it's not.
Ooh.
So it doesn't sound like Mark DeRosa's got a job this year, or at least TV or managerial wise.
That's unfortunate. He's a smart whip of a guy. I thought he was gonna get his chance.
Yeah, I know. So did I.
But no, that's interesting. I was gonna ask you with the whole Philly thing. Do you think that there's gonna be a moment in that season if they're let's say they do actually start to tank the bed, all right?
That they fired Joe Girardi, yeah.
Not fire Joe Girardi. Do you think that him and Bryce Harper get into it at some point?
Yeah. Game 1.
Game 1 they fight?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Everything I've heard from the Yankees organization on Joe Girardi is that he is literally the worst piece of poop out there.
Well, you have to remember too that we're at a point now where top brass execs and coaches, managers, they don't seem to really get along a lot.
No,
if you're abrasive, they don't like that.
This was
stuff.
Joe Girardi wanting to have full control of the team.
Right.
Wanted to be full control of draft, the minors.
Oh, so he wanted to be like GM.
Yeah, he wanted to play GM, and he drove upper management crazy. This is from a source. This is from someone inside the Yankees organization themselves that said that whoever hires Joe Girardi was going to literally be signing their death certificate.
Ouch. Jeez. Tell us how you really feel, man. All right, yeah. Well, I mean, hey, we'll keep that up there too. I mean, look, the World Series is going on. Managers are getting hired. We're going to see how this whole thing plays out. Certainly, I mean, there's a lot of big questions right now going around with, who's next up for which team where. I mean, heck, for all I know, White Sox fire Renteria and move on to somebody else.
Cooper.
All right, you know what? With that, I think it's time to move on.
God, I would laugh. I would sit here and just laugh my head off.
If that's the case, I'm going to go to Blue Jays and just be a Blue Jays fan.
Become a Cubs fan, man.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Less drama, and our fans actually show up. Oh,
God, I'm not even gonna get into that. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna take a quick break here. But when we do come back, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be talking here with some NFL stuff, and of course, too, the NBA is back, and we'll be getting into it some here with the Bulls. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on the X1 Sports Live Show.
Man, I'm so hungry. I need somewhere to eat fast. I have no idea where to go.
Psst. Hola, me llamo El Taco de Taco. You know where to go for the amazing taste that I have you craving more? Taco Bell.
Can I get 20 tacos, please?
You got it.
Thanks, Taco.
De nada.
Good. That's it. Eat the tacos.
Taco Bell. Live más.
Hey, watch your mouth. Wine. I'll just put a quarter in the swear jar. Once it's filled, we get a Coors party after work. I've been drinking Coors since my college days. Cold draft taste, second to none. Yeah, worth every quarter, am I right? You know it, mother.
Hey, get those reports done?
Yeah. No. You, sir. Attention, employees.
The staff meeting, scheduled for this evening, will now be held tomorrow early as
That is all. Dudes, we're only 75 cents short. Oh, shh. I'm the boss. Hey, sir, go yourself. You're fired.
And welcome back, everybody, here to the X1 Sports Live Show. My name is still Andrew Valentin. Though you can't see him, he is invisible right now, but Tom McKinney is still here somewhere with us, coming from the sports. Oh, my God. Jeez. No wonder. I just had a pop in my ear for whatever reason. I just got a ring, and I'm like, where would that have come from? You know what? Now I finally know where it's coming from.
That's funny.
Oh, my God. Wow. Talk about spooky, ladies and gentlemen. Jeez. Oh, God. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, for the first half, if you hadn't joined us, we just talked about the NHL season with the Blackhawks. We also talked about the World Series and got into a little bit of stuff on the managers' jobs and things like that. So if you guys do, you can check that guy's stuff out at the beginning of the show. Anything you like there, you can – what?
I don't know. I'm bored.
All right. You guys can comment down below on that stuff. So moving on to the second half here, we're going to get this one started. And we're kicking it off with, obviously, you got Chicago Bears versus Los Angeles Chargers. Now, this is obviously something that all of us here in Chicago were not hoping was going to happen, right? Us sitting here at 3-3 was never the plan.
It's a must-win.
Yeah, it is a must-win. In fact, it is a should-win.
No, it's really just a must-win. Need to win. Not a should. Need to win.
No, yeah. It is.
And
it is,
will win.
It is all those things. We can't say will.
I can say
can
will
be
all I want
hopeful.
because I know we're going to win.
We can
I already
be
got money
hopeful.
on this. I put everything in my bank account on this.
Does your fiance know that?
Now she does.
Cut to your camera. You're getting beat up right now. No, look. Yeah, Tom is not wrong. This is a much needed win because this is kind of we're almost at the half point of the season right now for this team, right? We're 2 weeks away from that moment where it's like we've got 8 games under our belt. We have 8 more left. It's do or die. You're sitting at 3-3. You're right now third in the division, I believe it is. You're still third in the division.
Yeah.
I think so. So you're still in the hunt.
Boom.
and you're still in the hunt for the playoff picture too. But it's a steep climb because obviously the Vikings they won on Thursday against the Redskins. That was a no-brainer, right?
Ooh, shot.
Yeah. You got Green Bay, who has been playing very well. The defense has been outstanding. Rodgers, while showing his age, has also, he's still doing Aaron Rodgers-like things. So you have to be able to win this game. I mean, it's the Chargers, right? So looking at them, I mean, look, Bears right now, they're 3.5-point favorites, right? They're predicted to win this game fairly easily because the Chargers right now, for those who don't know, they have a lot of issues going on themselves. For a team that's actually pretty decent when healthy, unfortunately, a lot of their big pieces right now are just banged up or they're just not playing well. So I looked at it and I said, okay, there's some major points that we need to kind of look at for the Bears. So I thought, let's go through the 5 points. There's 5 key points that I was able to kind of find and able to poke and pick out, and also came with the help, by the way, of fansided.com's. The 5 matchups for Chicago Bears must win versus the Chargers. So I went through these. I kind of looked at them, did a little bit more research into them, did a little bit dive into them. So I thought, let's kind of go through these 5 points and let's pick and choose and see what can be worked on. So let's hit it off with. The first point we have, ladies and gentlemen, for you all is stopping Keenan Allen. That is the first major point I have for him. I mean, look, Keenan Allen is obviously the top receiver for the Chargers. He's one of the top receivers right now in the NFL. I mean, he's got 44 catches, 564 yards. He only has 3 touchdowns, so he's not a, go-to machine when it comes to throwing touchdowns to. But even still, he comes up big with the ball anytime it's thrown to him, right? He's got a 62.
Wait, when did they give up on Phillip Rivers? Oh, never mind.
What's
Keenan
up?
Allen's a receiver. Shut up.
Yeah. What were you saying?
Just ignore me.
Okay. I'm going to listen back on this and see what you said. But, look, he's got a
I was thinking of Kyle Allen with Carolina.
Oh, okay.
So I said, when did they give up on Phillip Rivers? I got to go talk to him.
Somewhere out there, somebody listened to that and is like, did he just say a quarterback as a receiver?
Well, all right. I was thinking of Kyle Allen.
That's fine. No, that's fine.
It's not even the right team.
It's K. Allen, right? It's K. Allen. You get the benefit of the doubt on this one, all right? We'll give you a pass on it. But no, look, Keenan Allen, I mean, he's one of the top receivers out there. Obviously, his best work has been in the slot. Slot receiver-wise, our defensive backs have done a pretty decent job. Buster Skrine's been pretty good for it for the most part. But considering how big and strong Keenan Allen is, it's going to be a tough matchup nonetheless. So if you have to find a way to be able to shut him down, which means to me, if you're going to do that, you got to get Kyle Fuller. One, he's got to get on his best game because Allen will beat you in every single way possible, but he's going to have to follow him everywhere he is on the field at all times, right? It's just got to happen. You might even have to double team him up and get Clinton Dix going over the top to shut him off completely. That might sacrifice a lot because, the other receivers will then be open, and Hunter Henry will be there, and he's done pretty well since coming back from injury. But you have to stop Keenan Allen from making big plays, okay? So that's number 1, all right? So number 2, this is by no means importance, all right? This is just the order in which I was reading them, and I just put them in. So number 2 out there is the running defense for the Bears has to definitely be on its best game against an injured offensive line of the LA Chargers. So for those of you that are wondering right now, well, what does that mean? Well, look, right now the LA Chargers offensive line is in a bad spot, okay? The offensive line for the Chargers, I mean, they're missing 3 key pieces for their team right now. Russell Okung at offensive tackle, right? Mike Pouncey at center, and Forrest Lamp, their young, soon-to-be Pro Bowl guard, had he been able to stay healthy this year. I assume he would have been there at the Pro Bowl because he plays that well. Now, granted, our defensive line is injured, right? We got Noah Akeem Hicks, right? But we still have Eddie Goldman. We still have Khalil Mack, certainly. And Nick Williams has not played bad. He's actually done pretty good. And Abdullah Anderson's not a bad pickup either. I mean, we got some pretty good run supporters on this team right now. But the problem is that, the push we've been able to get, unfortunately, has not seemed to be so effective in these last couple games. Because when you look at it, Josh Jacobs ran all over this Bears defense. On top of that, you also have Latavius Murray, who ran all over that defense. I mean, both of them had 2 touchdowns apiece. So far, you've given up almost 250 yards of rushing offense between 2 backs, and you've given up 4 rushing touchdowns. That's not good. That's not good at all. You have to be able to take advantage now today, or not today, but tomorrow, of this opportunity where you say the offensive line is depleted. Melvin Gordon is not in the same rhythm he used to be. Austin Eckler is not being used as a running threat anymore. He's more of a passing threat. Use this as your chance to finally be able to shut down a team and maybe even pressure them to go to the pass more so you can get after the quarterback. So that's point number 4. So moving into the next one for number 3, it's pretty simple. I put it in big, bold letters because I cannot say it anymore. I couldn't even put anything as a lower third to our lower third on it. It's have an established run game. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. Tom, how many more times can we say it before we bleed from the mouth? Have a ground game.
2 million more.
Yeah, exactly. We can say it so many more times. Have a run game already. Get it going. Run the ball 20, 25 times. At some point, something's going to break. I know this offensive line is not doing well. But you're not even trying anymore. You're not even giving any thought to letting David Montgomery get the ball in his hands. You gave him, 2 carries last game? You think he's going to do well with 2 carries? You only ran the ball like 8 times against the Saints. Come on. You have to have more. 20 to 25 carries for Montgomery or throughout the rest of the team. But I would rather Montgomery be the guy because it feels like he's more the guy to lean on right now. It's not Cohen. Cohen's your gadget player. Montgomery is your running back for the future. But you're not utilizing him. You're just letting him stand by the wayside while you throw passes. I said it before. They're throwing the ball 60% of the time now. 60% of the time they're throwing the ball. Or now 65% of the time, whatever it was. It's big numbers. Where last year we were around 54, almost 55%. Just run the ball more. It helps. It helps open up the passing. Trust me. Trust anybody. Trust Belichick. It works. It works. Particularly when you don't have the superstars at those positions of quarterback and wide receiver and the offensive line. So next point. Next big point we've got on this team. This one is, doesn't seem like a lot, but Taylor Gabriel is supposed to be back at 100%. Anthony Miller, he's a little bit banged up, but they said he should be 100% for the game. Both of these guys work in and out of the slot. There's not a lot of work with this team when it comes to corner. Xavier Hayward's going to be locked onto Allen Robinson all day because he's a shutdown corner. He's one of the best in the game. So you know what the easy thing is? Throw it to Gabriel and throw it to Miller. Those guys are going to be wide open all day. Obviously, the question lies in, is Trubisky going to get them the ball? I mean, if he sits in that pocket and makes his passes, he should be having a field day with those guys. They're very talented. They're very good. Take advantage of the mismatch. By the way, no Derwin James still. He's out for the season. You're working with backup safeties, Rayshawn Jenkins and Roderick Teamer. I don't know who they are, but they're backup safeties. I know that. You should be able to take advantage of this. They're 21st in what I'm calling EPA, which is explosive plays allowed, which is where you have the receiver running down the field and you have that great chance to just throw that ball straight down there. Right? They're 30th in successful passes allowed. So if Trubisky is able to dart and dot his passes to guys like Taylor Gabriel and Anthony Miller while Allen Robinson is distracting Xavier Hayward all day, well, then it's going to really open things up. And then if you can get Trey Burton in the game, that's even better. And then if Xavier Hayward goes to like Taylor Gabriel because he's having a good game, then guess what? Go to Allen Robinson. There's a great opportunity to get the passing game going, to get Trubisky's confidence up. This could be a great moment. And now to go to the final point here, ladies and gentlemen, this is probably the most major one, of course. It's QB and coach being in sync with the rest of the offense. Obviously, this is a no-brainer. We've been talking about this for weeks. It's Matt Nagy. It's Mitch Trubisky. They have to be on the same level with each other and the rest of the offense. You don't have to throw the ball 50 times in a game to win the game. Throw it 25 to 30 times, run a few times up the middle, run a few times to the outside, 25 to 30 times, running the football. Let your defense hunt, and you can win this game very easily. This should be an easy win. It's a very depleted Chargers roster with an aging quarterback. Talent on offense, yes, but it should be an easy win. But like Tom said, it's a must-win. Because I'm afraid of what happens if you don't win this game against the Chargers. Because if they lose this game, it could be the downfall of the end. Right now, we're predicted to go 8-8. We should be able to still go at least 10-6, 11-5, maybe. I'm hopeful for that. We still might even be able to go 12-4. But we'd have to win out. And they need to win this game. This is an important win for the perspective of the future, for the perspective of now, and for the hopeful chance that this team can actually stay connected. Because right now it feels like there's a bit of a distance growing between all these teams, and I'm not liking it. I'm sure nobody's liking it. The defense is frustrated with the offense. It's all in a mess. I'm hopeful. I mean, for me, I think the Bears should be able to beat the spread on this. 3.5 points, they should be able to win this game by an easy 10, 13 points.
Yeah.
Tom, what do you got? What's your prediction on it? How do you think this team's going to go out?
Fortunately, I think they're going to lose.
So no confidence?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Look, and unfortunately, that's what this team's put for us. As Bears fans, we want to see this team succeed. Do I think we can win? I'm sure even Tom thinks they can win. But at the same time, these last few games, you've been getting beat. You're getting beat like crazy. Unfortunately, this team is going to lose. It really might happen. I'm confident they might be able to win, but at the same time, there's a part of me saying they're going to lose. They're going to find a way to lose. It might not be Trubisky. It might not be the run game. It might not be Nagy. It might not be the defense. I don't know what it might be. It might be the sheer acting will of God for all I know. It might be aliens for all I know. I don't know.
Aliens are real.
It's very possible.
Not
Here's hoping for
possible.
the Bears. We'll see what happens on Sunday tomorrow. It's going to be interesting. All right. So away from that, obviously, we've got a full NFL week that we're going to do. The NFL week Monday and Sunday in preview. That's bringing it back.
Na. Why do we go ESPN on that?
That is copyrighted. Do not do that. Do you want us to get shut down? There you go. Yeah, so as you guys always know, we should get some sort of theme music for this. Jeez. As you guys always know, Sunday and Monday we usually do this kind of preview of what the week was. Obviously, last week we didn't do our review, but we're going to do the preview. We're going to do this one really quickly before we hit into basketball. So I hope you guys are ready for this one. What?
Ooh, I don't know.
Okay. So I hope you guys are
Minnesota's
ready.
handling Maryland, by the way.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's 21-0.
Oh, jeez. All right. All right. Well, you ready to do this, man?
Yes.
All right. Well, let's kick it off first. We're going to hit Seattle Seahawks, 5-2 against the Atlanta Falcons, 1-6.
I have nothing at stake in this game anymore because I don't have Matt Ryan. I traded him away, and now I have Gardner Minshew.
I'm about 5 seconds away from dropping Matt Ryan at this point. I don't even know if he's healthy. They say he's going to be healthy. They say he's going to play the game. But at this point, is it even worth it? Because Atlanta at this point looks.
Keep him. You're gonna drop him, and he's gonna light up the league.
Oh, and that's when you're going to pick him up and be like, I'm back in this, baby.
I'm already back in this. I literally started out like poop, and somehow I came back in literally about a week or two away from the first spot.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened, but I do know that you lost.
Because I'm good, and Christian McCaffrey's now back, and now I don't have to worry about a bye with him anymore.
Fair enough. Yeah, and I got a few guys I don't have to worry about buys with too either. So I'm glad with that. But yeah, look, I mean, Seattle's on a hot streak right now. I know they lost coming off of Baltimore, but I think this is one of the things where you lost to Baltimore.
Atlanta.
You're going to use this as momentum going forward against Atlanta. I mean, Atlanta's defense is completely garbage. The offensive line doesn't look good at all. Yes. I don't know if Matt Ryan's even going to be 100%.
Damn it. Appalachian State beat USA.
USA.
It's literally what it says.
Okay. Yeah, Appalachian State just beat the United States of America. Good to you. Good for you guys. But yeah, look, Seattle's favored by 7 points. I'm gonna say I think this thing goes even farther. I think Seattle wins this thing by a good 20 points. So that's what I'm saying.
Just because I hate Jake Bradley, I'm going Atlanta by 2 touchdowns.
Oh god. All right. So Tom says Atlanta by 2 touchdowns. All right. Next, Philadelphia Eagles sitting at 3-4 against the 5-1 Bills. Bills are right now favored by 2.5 points. Believe it or not.
Bills by 4 touchdowns.
Bills by 4 touchdowns. This is going to be an interesting matchup. This is really going to be an interesting matchup. I know the matchup predictor says Eagles may actually win this one. They got 52.8%.
Yeah, again,
for the Eagles.
May win this one.
Yes, may win. But look, Buffalo's defense is for real. I don't know about that offense. Like I'll say this: Josh Allen and he's definitely got to pick up the pace. But his play with John Brown has been very good. I like it. I like the connection. I think he's done well with Dallas Knoxon at a tight end. There's something there. They got something special. And by the way, never doubt the ever great Frank Gore can still put up some good rushing numbers. Still finds a way to get through the hole. But I'll say this. I think Buffalo can have an actually big win off of this day. I think they can win this one by 10 points. Forget 2.5 points. I think they can win this one by 10 points. Eagles look good. Carson Wentz is always good, but those receivers can't catch anything. And that defense can't even seem to catch a break. So I got Bills. I got Bills by 6. Tom, you got it? What are you thinking?
Bills by – realistically, I think the Bills are going to win by 2 touchdowns.
But you say Bills by 1 million?
No, Bills by 2.
Bills by 2? Okay.
By 2 touchdowns.
Okay. I like it. All right, next.
What channel is the LSU game on?
I do not remember.
Oh, I found it.
Okay. Yeah. So, all right. So next, we've got New York Giants sitting at 2-5 against the Detroit Lions at 2-3-1. Obviously, I think this is where
Why do you have Buffalo still at 6.5?
What? Oh my, jeez. Sorry, everybody. Me as being the person that puts everything together, unfortunately made a mistake.
Andrew was drunk.
Yes. So the Detroit Lions are actually supposed to be 6.5-point favorites, not the Buffalo Bills. Look, I think this is supposed to be Detroit's game. Certainly, this should be the game that they certainly come alive. I think Matthew Stafford has a nice little field day. I'm not saying he's going to have 6 touchdowns. I think he just has around like 3 touchdowns or so. But I think he's going to have a really big game. I think this offense is going to really spark to life, even without Kerryon Johnson. New York Giants, I mean, look, they've done fine. I know Saquon's back, which is great. David.
Is it, though?
It is for me, that's for sure. David Jones, I mean.
Get him.
He's not been bad, but he's starting to kind of taper off a little bit as a quarterback. And Evan Ingram's been a pretty good receiving player, but he's still in the questionable matter. They don't know if he's going to start or not. So you could have 0 passing attack for all I know in New York. But overall, I think the Lions should be able to take this one. I'm going to say 17 points. You got one for me, Tom?
Lions by a touchdown.
Lions by a touchdown. All right, there you go. All right, next. Tampa Bay Bucks against the Tennessee Titans. This may be the ugliest game we ever watched, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jameis Winston, number 1 overall pick, versus who knows at quarterback with Marcus Mariota may or may not be starting or on the bench as the number 2 overall pick. I mean, who would have thought we would have been looking at those 2 quarterbacks thinking to ourselves, boy, one's about to probably lose his job. The other guy's benched for a quarterback that they traded for out of Miami that's not very good.
That's terrible.
Yeah, that's really terrible. Even though they picked up the win against the Chargers, which is shocking.
But it's the Chargers.
But it is the Chargers, yes.
We will have insight from Phillip Rivers here after the Bears game, though.
Yes, I mean, seriously. But I don't know who's going to win this game, right? I mean, they've got Tennessee by a 2.5-point favorite. I'll say Tennessee just because I think the defense might be able to come up with some pick sixes to win the game. So I'll say Tennessee by 6. I don't think it's going to be that great of a game, though. I think it's going to be a lot of turnovers, to be quite honest.
Tennessee by 1.
Tennessee by 1 for you?
Yeah.
Do you think Cody Parkey hits the field goal?
No, God, no.
Okay, cool. All right, yeah. So that's it for that game. Next, Denver Broncos.
The
sitting
two
at-
horses. It's the horse matchup.
It is the horse matchup, yeah. It's the Broncos versus the Colts. The Broncos obviously being the older brother of the Colts, but for some reason it seems like the Colts are actually the ones that might bring the beat down on the Broncos. Indianapolis favored by 4.5 points. I think that's fair. I think that's probably where it's going to be at because while Indianapolis is good,
They're not great.
they're not great. Jacoby Brissett, don't get me wrong, he's a very good fitted-in quarterback. But he's not a do damage guy. Of course, if he does do damage this year, I'm out fantasy points again. So could you just wait till I start you, man? That's all I'm asking.
No, don't start him.
No, well, it's just because he put 30 points and he was on my bench. And, that could have been a make or break if Julian Edelman had a really big game for you, which he didn't. But that's okay. But honestly,
I would have won, though, if I had Christian McCaffrey. Be
fair
honest.
enough, yes. If you want to, probably, most likely.
And
But
I
no,
would've first
Colts,
in the division and yada, yada, yada.
yeah, I know. Too bad ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. But
Go home. You're done.
yeah, come on, that was good. You got to give me that
No,
one.
that
was
was
good.
terrible.
All right, no, the Colts should 4.5 points is right around that spot. I think the Colts do win this one. I think
All right,
Broncos can find a way to hang
next.
out, but yeah. All right, next we've got Cincinnati Bengals at the LA Rams.
Next.
Hold on. All I'll say is if Jared Goff doesn't come out of this with like 5 touchdowns,
I'm saying if Jared Goff doesn't come out with those 50 touchdowns, it's a loss for the Rams.
seriously. Look, Bengals at this point, they're playing for the first. They got to be playing for the first overall pick. It's got to be a given at this point. Rams, if they can use this could be momentum to carry them forward. Who knows? But this is going to be an ugly game. And if somehow Cincinnati does pull out the win, I'll eat a sock here on this show. I don't care. Seriously.
Don't say that.
No, I'm not going to. No. All right, next. All right, next we've got the Arizona Cardinals sitting at 3-1, surprisingly, by many people's account, and against the New Orleans Saints.
Saints, Breeze is back.
That's true, he's back, but has he been confirmed to
Yeah,
play
he's
yet?
starting under center.
He's starting. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it does help out a lot, and I can see why now the line is at 10.5 points, although, to be honest, the Cardinals' defense has not been playing 100%, but they have improved, certainly. I mean, they're on a 3-game winning streak. Obviously, the Saints have done very well with Teddy Bridgewater under quarterback, but now it's Drew Brees back in at quarterback, and we all know what Drew Brees can do. So it's going to be – I'll say I think the Saints certainly win this one. I think 10.5 points is being nice. I think they could actually win this one by 21 points, 3 touchdowns.
30.
I'm gonna say, you're seeing 30?
Yeah.
Okay. That's even possible, too, because who knows? This could be the game where we really see if Kyler Murray can actually step it up, because that defense for New Orleans, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. This will be a good test for him, and it'll be a good test to see where he's at right now. All right, next. You got New York Jets against the Jacksonville Jaguars. If Jacksonville cannot win
Jags. I need a Gardner Minshew.
I was going to say, if Jacksonville cannot come out of this with a win, that's kind of sad. Now, look, I think Sam Darnold's still a really good quarterback. Nonetheless, I know he played bad against the Patriots.
But who isn't?
But yeah, the Patriots' defense is number 1 in the NFL for a reason, ladies and gents. But honestly, look, the Jaguars, they have more firepower. I think they have the quarterback who's kind of a bit more on a hot streak right now, who's not coming off of sickness or anything like that. So Jacksonville right now has a 6.5-point favorite. I think it's more like a 13-point difference right now between these teams. So I'm going to say that. But, again, who knows? The Jets could surprise us all, and for all I know, Sam Darnold can come out in 5 touchdowns. It's amazing what that kid might be able to do. But I'm going to say Jacksonville by 13. Tom, what do you say?
Jacksonville by 20.
By 20? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, next. You got the Carolina Panthers
Next.
at San Francisco.
Next.
You think it's over?
Next.
Jeez, wow.
Next.
Why do you think it's over?
Because San Francisco's just too good, but I think Christian McCaffrey's going to run over that team. I think he'll have at least 2 touchdowns, but he'll have about 500 yards.
I think Christian McCaffrey will definitely expose this defense. I don't think the 49ers will lose this game, like Tom says. But I think McCaffrey will show the crux in this defense, which is that if you can get a back like McCaffrey or a player really like McCaffrey that has a dual threat ability to attack, it's going to tire the defense out, right? that defense is great though, nonetheless. And I didn't even realize this. They're only paying one guy huge amounts of money, and that's Quan Alexander. Everybody else is under a rookie contract. That's crazy.
Wait, the 49ers?
Yeah.
How much are they paying Richard Sherman?
Richard Sherman, I think he's only in the 25 million.
That's still a lot of money, man.
No, it's a lot of money, but considering what other, top players are making, it's
next.
It's a lot. But no, 49ers, honestly, right now, it's tight, but honestly, I would say I think 49ers have that one relatively easily.
Next.
All right, yeah. Next, Cleveland Browns. Oh, God. Cleveland Browns
Next.
at New England Patriots. Hold on. Before we move on from this one, I want to say really quickly, can anybody beat this Patriots team?
No, this is the game, though, that they fired Freddie Kitchens.
Really? You think this is after this game? You think this is it for him? Okay, interesting. I'll say this. I think Nick Chubb will have a big game.
He better.
Seriously. I think Baker Mayfield may have a decent game. I think he might be able to at least throw in a touchdown. But those defensive backs right now, they are locked in on quarterbacks. And it's going to be tough to throw on them. If you do try to throw on them, it's going to be hard. But Patriots right now have an 11-point difference on this game. I know Brady hasn't been actually on his game all the way, but it should be a relatively easy win. All right, next. You got Oakland Raiders at Houston Texans.
Is this for the division?
No, they're not in the same division.
Oh.
No, Oakland right now 3-3. Houston is 4-3. Oakland right now is second.
But if Oakland wins, is that for the division?
If Oakland wins this, they don't win the division. They're still second.
Who's first?
Chiefs.
Oh.
Chiefs are 5-2.
Yeah, that's right.
But with no Mahomes, Raiders have an opportunity now to maybe take the division. Right now, Houston's favored by 6.5 points. I'm going to say this. I think Raiders could come up with the upset. I'll say that right now. I think the Raiders come up with the upset.
Yeah, so do I.
I really do
Sorry, I'm
think.
watching the LSU Auburn game. It was 4th and 1, and LSU didn't get the first down.
Gee, thanks for breaking my heart now. Well, now it's sad time for Andrew. No, I really do think. I think go with the plus on this. Go with the Raiders. I'd say on the upset. I think the Raiders can come out of this strong.
All right, next.
This is the big matchup, although not maybe as big as we wanted to think. It's Green Bay Packers versus Kansas City Chiefs. So I think it has been confirmed that there's no Patrick Mahomes tonight.
I don't know. They're still hoping.
Is it still open?
Yeah, they're still hoping.
Oh, my God. Jeez. All right, so whether he plays or not is going to be a hard factor to tell. I hope he doesn't play because I don't want to see them break this kid. He's really good for the league.
Break him.
Don't
so
break him at quarterback.
No, so shut up everybody about the Bears could have drafted him.
Yeah, but that's always going to be a factor no matter what. The Bears could have drafted him. Even if he breaks, it doesn't matter. So, I think the Packers are going to win this one relatively easily. I think Green Bay gets it at 4.5 points.
I think the Chiefs still win this game. Who's their backup?
The Chiefs' backup is Matt Moore.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs win.
You think the Chiefs win?
Yeah.
Okay, then you're crazy. Yeah, I mean, that's a given, but
I think they win it by a field goal.
Okay, all right. So Tom says by a field goal. He thinks he's really.
Is that unrealistic to think, though?
Yes, because the Chiefs' defense is awful.
Whatever.
So, and it's Aaron Rodgers, dude.
Yeah, but we don't know about Matt Moore.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, after what I saw in that last game, it wasn't great. He just did his job. But I think Green Bay wins this one by 14 points. So Tom says field goal. I'm going to say 14-point difference for Green Bay. Even as much as I hate saying that. And then the Monday night matchup, we're not even going to spend much time on this one.
Steelers
Miami
lose.
Dolphins versus
Steelers lose.
You really think the Steelers are going to lose this game?
Yeah.
To be honest, I wouldn't put it past them at this point. If they lose this game, this will be Mike Tomlin's, I think, first season ever having a losing. He's never had a losing season. If they lose to the Dolphins tonight, that really is going to be his first loss. But however, I don't think they're losing. They're 14-point favorites in this game.
They lose by 20.
They should be able to blow this team out, even with Mason Rudolph at quarterback.
They lose it by 20.
You say lose by 20?
Yeah.
Have you taken anything today?
No.
Okay then. I'm just making sure because you're talking craziness right now. Look,
fine, fair enough, but I think they lose by 20.
Look, Dolphins are bad. I don't even know if they have an offense anymore. Steelers defense is bad. But Steelers
Man,
at
we
least
gotta
look
get
like
outta
they have
here.
some simulation of an offense. So
We
I'm
gotta
gonna
get
say
out of here.
what's up?
We gotta get out of here.
We do. So I'm going to say Steelers by 14. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up here. I know we had NBA stuff, but unfortunately we're going to have to save
Somehow
that
I
one.
always find a way not to talk
Somehow
about
you
that.
always find a way. But we got to get out of here, ladies and gents. So we'll talk NBA next Wednesday. So we'll see you guys then. Tom, where can they find you, man?
You can find me at McLovin6193. I got comfortable. It's right
Yeah, I can see you got
here.
comfortable.
right there. And on Twitter and Instagram, where I just talk a bunch of bullshit on Twitter and argue with a bunch of people.
No kidding.
Apparently. So, and Joe DiGiacomo.
Watch your language, by the way.
Joe DiGiacomo, if you're watching this is who has been talking to you. I don't know why you don't know me. I worked for you, so ha.
You have anger and management issues.
Wow, whatever. All right.
All right, and you guys can find me on Twitter at TheFluffyGuru. You guys can find me on Instagram at BoomCrewCaptain as well. I know it's not up there, but you guys can
I
make
got
sure
the
to
link and
follow us
everything
there.
for the other thing.
All right, guys, if you do want to check us out, make sure to follow us at our things. But before we get into that, we're doing a support thing for Movember. So if you guys want to check that
the
out,
boys are growing stashes.
the link is in the description down below. We are growing out mustaches for men's health, for primarily cancer, and for
prostate, testicular, and men's suicide.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you. Yes. So I just downloaded the app. I'm getting everything set up. So if
I
you
already got
guys
it set up.
download the app, what's
I
up?
already got it set up.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, literally the link is in the lower third.
Okay, cool. I mean, I put it there prior to the show as well, but
No,
so
you didn't have that. You just had
it's in the description down below. You can
Oh,
click
it
on
is.
the link
Well,
there.
I already got the group all set up.
Okay,
Oh.
cool, awesome. I have
Oh,
another,
and LSU fumbled the
I have another
punt.
group set.
LSU fumbled the punt.
I don't want to hear it.
Auburn's got the ball in good territory.
I
Let's
don't
go,
wanna hear
boys.
All right, so guys, make sure though, but please help us out. We're going to be doing a lot supporting.
What do we
here.
want to set our goal at? That was one thing I wanted to talk about.
That's something that we'll talk about. We'll figure it out, and then we'll let you guys know.
It's not going to be crazy. It's not going to be like $15,000.
No, it'll be fairly simple. But guys, make sure to go follow us. So make sure to go check us out there. If you guys want to follow us too, make sure to follow us on our Twitter and our Instagram at XBombSports. Make sure to go to our Facebook page, like, comment, and all that good stuff on our Facebook page at Team XBombSports, seasons 1 and 2, and all that good stuff. Guys, also too, make sure to go check out our radio show as well.
Trash.
Yes. Every Saturday from 12 to 2. Unfortunately, these guys have kind of been dealing with a few things here and there. So give your best of love to Jake Bradley and Tyler Prickett as they've been kind of working through some stuff lately. So you can check them out on sportsdownchicago.com or the Facebook page of Sportsdown Chicago as well. And also, too, make sure to subscribe here to this YouTube page at XBomb Productions. So like, comment on all the stuff we want to hear, questions, comments, anything you have. And before we get out of here, too, guys, me, Tom, and his fiancée, Sarah, we're going to a pumpkin patch to go get the pumpkin for the official Halloween special episode on Wednesday. So if you guys have any sort of recommendation for something you want us to carve it with, if you guys see this by any chance, because we're carving it tomorrow on the next day, guys, comment down below. Let us know what you guys want us to carve. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we got to get out of here. And as always, much love and peace out, Boom Crew.